Look Outreach is underwritten by the generous support of Munter Enterprises. Family owned and operated since 1972, integrity is important, as our family name is on every project. Our word is our bond. Munter Enterprises. Just build it.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, without a doubt, one of the most exciting days of the year, forget about Christmas and all those holidays, is when SPAC announces its season. And we've got a lot to talk about. And joining me today is the president of SPAC, Elizabeth Sobol. Welcome back, Elizabeth.
Thank you so much. Really
Very nice to have you here. I'm going to jump into a couple of things. Okay. I know we're going to break this interview into two parts, so we will be talking about a lot of the specifics with the New York City Ballet, Philadelphia Orchestra, and the Chamber Society. But you've made such an amazing impact on SPAC since you've been here. I'm thinking maybe it's 18 short months so far, something
That's
like
right.
that. That overriding philosophy that you have, that we've discussed many times, how the arts are such an integral part, or should be, of the community, I know is one of your major drivers. Yeah. What have you discovered?
Well, so the big thing now, being here 18 months and really feeling like part of a community, is just how SPAC is part of this ecosystem that is Saratoga, and Saratoga is part of the ecosystem. And like I always think in nature metaphors that, you know, the roots are so deeply intertwined beneath the ground there. So looking at SPAC as a reflection of and a home for the community has really guided a lot of what we've been doing. I also, when people talk to me about, or people who've never been here ask me, well, what is so magical about the place? Like, is it the resident companies? Is it the venue? What is it? And I say it's all of those things, but I like to boil it down to that for me, SPAC is utterly unique in its perfect convergence of man-made beauty and natural beauty.
Right.
And I think that what's one of the things that's so important for people to understand around here who maybe haven't been to around the country, traveling to the Hollywood Bowl, the Ravinia, Wolf Trap, Tanglewood, all the other big festivals, is that we have something utterly unique here. We have this best-in-class venue with all the great artists who appear there, nestled in 2,400 acres of sublime woodlands, parkland, just adjacent to one of the most culturally vibrant downtowns anywhere in America, and 45 minutes from 6 million acres of the Adirondacks and 32 miles of Lake George. Like that just doesn't exist anywhere.
It doesn't.
Oh, by the way, there's a train line that comes right up here. So
Yeah,
part of
right.
our job is getting the rest of the world to know what this is, right? So, but in terms of what we've been doing with SPAC itself, what I've really been trying to do is bring a lot of people who had wandered away from SPAC back and bring in new people. That's really the key. Across all the things we do, we need new audiences. We need to make SPAC bring back that sense of magic. There's obviously a number of people for whom SPAC is that magic core of Saratoga, but we need more of those people. We need to expose more people to how absolutely extraordinary the place is. So a lot of what we have been doing is geared towards audience development. The big boom in education, we went from serving 5,000 kids to serving 23,000 kids last year. And so the depth and breadth of our education program has really hugely expanded over the last year. Our audience development has expanded significantly. We've gone to year-round programming because, after all, you can't be a presenter of this magnitude and importance in a community and turn your lights off in May and turn them off in September.
Yes, right, sure.
So trying to just be more present and be open doors to everybody, you know. I mean, obviously, those connoisseurs who are passionate about the ballet and the orchestra, having those resident companies is absolutely key to the future of SPAC. And no one should worry that somehow we're thinking of eliminating either the ballet or the orchestra. They're absolutely part of our DNA and essential to protect them for the future. But in addition to that, we need to be bringing in other audiences and bringing people, introducing them to the ballet and introducing them to the Philadelphia Orchestra, because if we're not doing that, then we're not growing ourselves for the future. So we've been very involved in opening our doors for free. The jazz bar, we had 400 people a night for the jazz bar, utterly free. You could come in with or without a ticket to the performance. Cafe Lane at SPAC, 5 hours of free programming for families, one Sunday a month. Absolutely free, great music, partnership with Sarah Craig and Cafe Lena. We're going to be doing that again. We've got so many projects coming up to broaden the palette, to bring people in through other doors and hopefully get them into the amphitheater so they can have that magical experience that you can only have at SPAC. So that's part of what we're doing.
You know, you're going to have to think about this more. You know, these one-word answers are just going to be really hard. You know, that's what I love about you and what you're doing for SPAC. It's just that she's just so passionate about it. And, you know, I'm thinking of things I'd love to cycle back in what you just said. But the overall thing is that the well-being of any community is really multifaceted in sense of developing that audience. You know, it's kind of a marketing term, develop an audience. But when you think about it, when it's real for you and you have something to offer the community, that engagement with them and that dialogue that you start, it dials in at so many different levels. You might have the connoisseurs who know exactly who's playing first violin and those kinds of things, or who the principal dancers are. But what about that wonderful experience of taking your kids on the lawn and watching them for no reason that they don't even know that they're dancing around and they're happy, and then you see your neighbors, and it's just that whole sense of it. I do want to mention that you have taken that wonderful step of not the lights go on in May and they go off in September. You know, the collaborations with Cafe Lena, and the jazz bar, even what you did with SPAC on Stage, which was kind of in the shoulder season. We have so much to talk about in terms of the programming itself. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to break that into a separate interview so that we can really get into some of the exciting things that you programmed for this year.
That would be great.
So if you want to see part one of this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.